think you're honestly a sick human being, and I think you are just so desperate that you'll do anything for attention, and you're just so disgusting. Honestly, so, like, have fun with old hag Whitney Houston. Like, she's so sick, and, like, crack is definitely not whack with you guys, because you are just, honestly, like, makes me laugh on how disgusting you guys look.
It was a horrible time.
It's something that nobody...
And that's why we're here at this time together.
Something that nobody can explain. It's like, it's all my fault.
What?
It's all my fault. All of that happened?
No, that's not.
No.
I got your wig, ho. You're mad. Miss Wig. I got your wig, ho. I got your wig, ho. Miss Wigiana. I got your wig, ho.
You know, that will really affect you profoundly. If you're in a stress situation, she was being pulled.
Yeah.
In a way that...
It would wear down anybody.
It would.
Especially with, trying to do the reality show and keep, Bobby at a certain level.
It is, isn't it, baby?
It's love.
Fire. Hey, fire. The way you walk and talk really set my nerve and I'm excited, child. Yes, you are. The way you tease knocked me to my knees. Hammer on fire! Hammer! You can feel it all over. All over people.
You know who did it too? No.
Who? What?
On TV?
No. You just...
You know what?
You was about to slip up in here. Who does that too?
Who used to?
What you mean, who used to?
Somebody used to know.
What you mean, somebody you used to?
You're just someone
Don't make
that
me jump
I
out
used
this
to
window.
know.
Huh?
You're just someone that I used to know. Anything you want done, baby. I do it naturally.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Go to get my glasses.
Before you go, do you like these on me? I think these are tight, but they get down.
They work for me. They work for me. They work.
Daddy is just greedy. If Daddy won't feed the needy.
Daddy is just greedy.
Your mother joining in the song.
Yeah! Greedy! Take Rick, please. Bobby does a good Rick James. Do Rick, Bobby. Oh. You feel the groove? Feel it? You feel it? You feel it? Come on, you feel it.
She's a super freak. She's super freaking, yeah. Everybody sing.
I'm leaving with a husband. I'm going home. It's raining like...
In the mood of running.
Yeah.
Head out on the highway.
Yeah.
Don't know the rest of the words.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going my way. Don't be so infallible. Everybody gotta do me a new song. There ain't nothing but a reason. Born to be wild.
Born to be wild.
got a CD player in here?
Isn't it rich? Okay, go back.
So you gonna get my CD. Play my new single.
Send in the clowns. Where are the clowns? Don't bother. In song. Shut up, just shut up, shut up. Oh no. Shut up, just shut up, shut up. Shut up, just shut up, shut up. We try to make it work, but it's silence of the world, and I'm crazy. I'm trying to be your lady.
Sorry, darling, the desert out with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne, hero Gilligan's eye.
Weren't you on your way to Clive's party that day?
That night, yes. I had just got back in town, and I wouldn't be going unless she asked me to come. I wouldn't. She's the only one that could get me to join his party. So she wanted me to come because I'd missed her. She'd been in town for a week, and I'd missed her because I'd been on the road. So when I got back, while I was out there, I was seeing all the crap that was happening to her, and that she was.
Well, Whitney Houston's comeback tour has hit yet another snag as hundreds of fans walked out of a recent show in Denmark. Here's NBC's Stephanie Gosk.
Whitney Houston walked on stage in Copenhagen to a warm reception.
Yes, I have come back.
It didn't last long. More than half the audience walked out before the end of the show. Fans thought Houston talked too much. Music critics said the once pitch-perfect diva shouldn't have sung anything at all. One wrote she looked and sounded like a person who doesn't have many years left to live.
Well, for Whitney Houston, this has really turned into the European tour from hell. And I think what happened in Copenhagen has really been the culmination of actually several weeks of disastrous performances.
Houston has already postponed 4 dates on her Nothing But Love tour because of respiratory infection. Other lackluster performances have been blamed on allergies and air conditioning. Houston was off-key in Birmingham, struggled in Nuremberg.
Whitney Houston's opening concert in her long-awaited Australian tour fell flat last night. Fans at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre walked out on her performance in disgust after she struggled to make it through her songs.
After a 20-year absence, fans couldn't wait to see Whitney back in Australia, but after just a few songs,
Was about to lose my breath.
many couldn't wait to leave.
She shouldn't have turned up.
No. Sorry we're having to leave
Big
early.
waste of money. It was dreadful.
They complained that the diva appeared to be miming during her opening numbers, took long breaks to towel herself down, and could no longer hit the high notes that once took her to the top of the charts. Whitney tried to share the love,
I love you, Brisbane. I love you so much.
but her performance left concert-goers cold.
It's the worst concert I've ever been to in my life.
Disgraceful.
Disappointed.
Horrible.
Upset.
Definitely not worth $165.
Whitney Houston is back in rehab. A representative for Houston confirmed Monday that the singer is undergoing treatment. The rep says Houston is in an outpatient program for drug and alcohol treatment. The rep also says it is a voluntary measure and part of Houston's long-standing recovery process. Houston is one of music's all-time best-selling artists. She released a successful album in 2009 after being on a hiatus from music as she battled drug addiction and ended a rocky marriage to singer Bobby Brown. The comeback CD, I Look to You, sold 1 million copies in the United States. But Houston's 2010 tour was troubled. She canceled some dates due to illness and received negative reviews from fans who were disappointed in the quality of her voice and performance.
Because before she came down to do this fucking party, she was up in Canada shooting a movie.
We got the script. Aaliyah was going to play the part. Mm-hmm. She was our sparkle.
of course, you know what happened with that. I put it down. I just said, Deborah, Chase, and I, my partner, we put it down. I said, I don't want to see it for a while. Let's just leave it and see what happens. 6 months ago, maybe half a year ago, got a call. This is a great film. We want to do it. Here we are.
And now we're in Detroit.
Yes, in Detroit in the late 60s.
And why do you think it was a perfect time to bring the film back? Because at first, you know, you said what happened with Aaliyah, but why now? Why now?
You know what? Like I told you, I put it down, and I was our sparkle. We were looking for our sparkle. We had our sparkle, and God wanted her more. So we just put it down. But this was just Jordan Sparks came up, and it was like, okay. Then we had, of course, we had Carmen and Tika and Derek and Mike Epps, and everything just started to come into play, and we just started like wow, this is going to be a really great film. We got the music, Curtis Mayfield. We took some of the music, we put R. Kelly to it, so it should be really quite grand.
Yeah,
She's doing a great job, doing a beautiful job, soberly, but well. She had her wits about her. She was in a great place. Then somebody calls her down to do a party, and who calls you in to do anything a week before it's happening, unless you're going to be doing rehearsals or something. If I'm going to come to your party, and even if you in Houston, I would just fly down the day of, a night before, go to the party, maybe stay a couple days if I wanted to afterwards, and then go back home. That's what killed her. I will tell you right now. The fact that she came down a whole fucking 7 days before the party with nothing in place to keep her or to insulate her from.
And she just ran amok.
Yes.
I was supposed to be at that party.
You were supposed
Jason
to be.
Lee had invited me, and I didn't go.
I wish you would have been
And
there.
I wished I had went, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We all remember the iconic moment when Whitney came on stage and was singing, "Yes, Jesus loves me."
There's nothing even left to say. Come on, y'all, put your hands together for pictures. Wow.
I was so surprised because I would have never asked her to get on stage. I wouldn't have put her in that position.
Yeah, and then Whitney's so crazy. She sang "Yes, Jesus Loves Me" and had a fight with a chick the same night.
So I'm going to speak on that because I was really angry about how that went down.
Let's go.
That was my idea. We had this party. And I wanted to celebrate music because R&B was really suffering at the time. And rather than it be about me, I wanted to celebrate the genre.
Right. It was for the love of R&B.
For the love of R&B.
Party. Right.
So Stacey Francis wanted to be a part of it. She wanted to sing. I knew her. I didn't know her well, but I knew her from back home in New York. She did Broadway, that kind of thing. She worked with a lot of people that I knew back home. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Pick a song to pay homage to an R&B artist. So she was there. I had worked with her. I rehearsed her with my band. So whatever was going on, for whatever it was she tried to say was happening with Ray J, whatever the case may be, what I do know is that I had a section for Whitney. Whitney didn't want to be in the section. She said, I'm staying with you tonight.
Was Ray J with her that night?
Ray J was there, yes. And so...
Did they seem like a loving couple?
Yeah. I didn't see anything weird. I didn't see anything that was off.
Actually, low-key, I thought it was kind of super hot. That, Ray J finally had him a grown-ass woman.
Yeah, a real
And then Whitney
woman.
was like trying to get her little swerve on.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
But then,
amazing.
we just don't know.
So this fight did not happen. There was never any physical interaction. That's
There was
number
blood
one.
on her leg.
But what I can tell you, that was red wine.
Now, I think people, I don't know, I think people are sort of, didn't get what the fight itself was. Take us through it. You were starting to tell me that.
Okay, you know, a friend of mine today said, you know, Stacey, the truth will set you free, you know, and I, in essence, what I said on Access Hollywood yesterday was true. It was true. I was having a great time with her, and I did respect her, and that's why things did not get out of hand. Had it been, and Nikki knows
that's the part I don't like to hear you say. I got to be honest with
What?
you. That you would escalate. That's what I think people get defensive about.
What?
It's like that you would escalate something with Whitney Houston. I don't think you would. I don't believe that.
No, that's my point. That's exactly my point that
But
I'm
then
making.
that's what it sounds like.
Wouldn't. No. That's my point exactly.
Okay.
It would never go there with Whitney Houston
because
she's Whitney Houston,
and not only that,
she's mine.
but not only that, you had a nice evening with her. She's a friend who had a flare.
My point, this is my point to you, Dr. Drew, and I'm going to be real direct, and a lot of people are not going to hear me say what I'm saying. I am from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
I'm from the hood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, let's really kick it like it is, all right? And people are going to be angry. Her fans are going to be angry for me to saying this. But I'm from the hood. Like any regular person, me standing in the club and her calling me the B word and pushing my head away, putting her face, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight. My point is, I love Whitney just like her fans love her. My point is, it doesn't matter where I'm from. It doesn't matter if she pushed me. It doesn't matter if she called me a bitch. None of that matters. I love you too much to go down this road with you. I don't care what you do to me. You understand? That was my point.
What I do know is that there were a lot of people when they realized she was there who were trying to get to her. Including some of the other performers.
Wasn't Bobby Chris there as well?
Bobby Christina was there. She stayed behind the little velvet rope in the corner with me and with Whitney. And so Ray J was there, but not. He kind of worked the room a little bit.
Of course.
And he was back and he's been Ray J.
Yeah.
Back and forth. But they stayed with me in the corner. Her security was there. I don't remember, was Ulysses there? Pat was there. I had my security. My ex-husband at the time, he was there. I had my team of people there with me. So we stayed in the corner, and she literally stayed back there and cheered every singer on all night long, the people that she had never heard of before. And there was a lot of trying to come over to get to her, her. And even as far as, I wish Stacey would have told the truth. She kept coming over, Whitney, you remember me? You remember me? And Whitney literally was like, who is that? Who is that? And I'm saying, she's one of the performers tonight. Don't worry, we'll be okay. So I was aware that she kept trying to get to her. So it didn't go down.
It stressed her too. She was friggin' stressed. She felt compelled to be there for Clive. She felt compelled, to be there.
This is my dad. It's my dad. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Mom, come see her. Come say hi. Come say hi to your godfather. Come say hi to your goddad.
We were interviewing Brandy, Monica, and Clive Davis. They were promoting his Music Cares, the benefit that Clive Davis has every year. And they were giving an interview to us, and Whitney Houston just was staying at the hotel, as we know now. She had just been at the pool and was just walking by and basically hopped into the interview room unannounced, and to the surprise of everyone. And you can see in the video, including Clive and Brandy and Monica, and of course Brandy on the left there, if you look very closely, you can see that actually Whitney handed some sort of note to Brandy, and they've known each other for a very long time, and you can see that she looks at the note and then hands it off to an assistant. And if you replay it enough, you can actually see this happen. Brandy looked a little uncomfortable, it seemed to me, and to a lot of people who've seen it.
What many of her friends told me at the time, and I interviewed many of them on this show, was that you couldn't underestimate how big a blow it was to her to lose the voice, the power that she had, the inability in stage shows to hit the big notes anymore for I Will Always Love You and so on. As somebody who still can, do you understand what that feeling must be like?
I understand what that feels like. I don't understand to that degree, but I understand, because I feel like when I don't have my instrument, I don't really have me.
It is what you're about.
Yes, it's almost who you are, Of course there's more to you than your voice, but
that's what you use to share. That's what you use to give. It's your purpose. It's what you were born to do.
And to lose that must be the worst thing.
Yeah, it probably drove her insane. It probably drove her insane.
Where were you when you heard the news? And how did you hear it?
I was actually in the same hotel that she passed in.
At the Beverly Hilton?
Yes, and we were all getting ready for the Grammy party, yes. And I was in my room getting ready. But the strange thing is, right before I started to get ready, there was this guy and a paramedics guy in the elevator. And they were like, hurry up, she's not breathing. And later on to find out they were talking about Whitney, I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. And my mom calls me and tells me that she passed. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, you know. And I fell to the floor in tears.
It would be the last performance of her life.
We are learning more about the final moments of Whitney Houston's life.
10 years later, we're still grappling with the loss of one of our greatest stars and the tragic circumstances of her final days. Here's the timeline. Wednesday, February 8th, Whitney was spotted leaving her doctor's office in Beverly Hills. She was treated for a sore throat. Whitney headed back to her suite here at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. She was in town for the Grammy Awards. But later that day, witnesses said she was acting strangely and wandering aimlessly in the lobby. They said that she looked disheveled, smelled of alcohol and cigarettes, and her clothes were mismatched. Thursday, February 9, Whitney crashed a TV interview with her mentor, Clive Davis, and singers Brandy and Monica. Her hair was dripping wet.
Why are you wet? I'm swimming all day. I do 2 hours a day.
Later that night, Whitney surprised everyone by joining singer Kelly Price on stage at a pre-Grammy party. No one could have imagined the end was near. The final images of her were taken as she left the party.
It's hammer time.
Yes. I promise you. I'm just waiting for you to call me. I got you.
I love you, Whitney.
Come on.
Can I get a picture with you? Whitney, please. We love you, Whitney. Can you go? Whitney.
Miss Nippy.
Whitney, this way.
Let's get right to ABC's Cecilia Vega, who joins us live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. Cecilia?
Yes, good morning, George. It happened here at 3:43 yesterday afternoon when a member of Houston's entourage located her body inside this hotel. So far, police and the coroner are refusing to offer details about what may have caused her tragic death. Exactly what happened inside the iconic Beverly Hilton remains a mystery. Paramedics raced to the 4th floor and found a lifeless Whitney Houston inside her hotel room bathtub. They tried in vain to resuscitate her with CPR.
At 3:55 p.m. this afternoon, Whitney Houston was pronounced dead at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
The scene inside her room was chaotic. ABC has learned it appears members of Houston's entourage found her unresponsive body and called hotel security. But just about a half hour earlier, Houston's mother, Sissy, reportedly spoke to her daughter and said nothing was out of the ordinary. Houston's cousin, Dionne Warwick, also reportedly spoke to her over the phone earlier in the day and said everything seemed fine. Houston was staying at the hotel to attend music industry executive Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammy bash. It is the same event where she was introduced to the record industry nearly 3 decades ago. Hours after her death, the party still went on, but the scene was surreal. The Beverly Hills Crime Lab parked outside. Paparazzi camped out waiting for Houston's body to emerge. Inside, a star-studded lineup of speeches and songs. Her final days were marked by questions about her sobriety. Houston's stay at the Beverly Hilton involved heavy partying, according to news reports, and then early Friday morning, what would become Houston's final performance. She sang a duet with Grammy nominee Kelly Price at a party at a Hollywood nightclub. Houston was there with her daughter having a good time, but after cheers on stage, these photos of a disheveled, bloated, and agitated Houston leaving. She reportedly had blood dripping down her leg, scratches on her wrist, and had to be escorted from the club. But the people who knew her said she was simply sweating from her performance.
There was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong. She was singing. She was dancing. She was laughing. She was playing. I'm going to remember her just like that, because that's the Whitney that I always had the pleasure of being around.
The pop superstar would be dead the next day. Now, one report says Whitney Houston was found with prescription drugs inside her room here at the Beverly Hilton and that she may have drowned in the bathtub. Whatever happened, the coroner says if an autopsy is performed, it could be a day or two before that's done.
We now know what caused the death of singer Whitney Houston. She was, of course, found dead in a hotel bathtub last month. On Thursday, coroner's officials said she drowned accidentally. Houston also had at least 5 different drugs in her system and also, we've learned, had heart disease.
Medical correspondent John LaPook is here with a closer look. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I think we know that she had drowning, and they're saying she had atherosclerosis, which means that she had some clogging of the arteries, some narrowing, and that she also had cocaine. The question is, how did they all combine to kill her? I think that the fascinating thing here is that somebody can have absolutely perfectly normal heart. She didn't, but a perfectly normal heart, and have cocaine, and it can kill them by causing spasm and increased clotting. And there's an amazing stat that I learned last night that just blew me away. If you take cocaine, the odds in the next 60 minutes of you having a heart attack go up 24 times, 2,400%.
Wow. And so what about the water in her lungs and that kind of thing that would indicate drowning?
Well, you know, one of the things, there's no camera there, so we don't know exactly what happened. And these pathologists, I don't really envy them, have to try to piece together this story. So you get water in your lungs if you're breathing. So how did she get water in her lungs? Well, she either had a heart attack and slipped into the water and she still had a few breaths and in they came, or she blacked out. Maybe she was unconscious because of a combination of the cocaine and these other medications, which they're saying did not contribute.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. And among those other medications, Xanax, which we've talked about recently on this program, Benadryl, something called Flexeril, and they said specifically these other drugs did not contribute to her death. Right. How do you know, I mean, as a pathologist, you're the coroner, you're looking at it, that they didn't play any role?
I spoke to one of the assistants in the coroner's office last night who was part of this investigation. I specifically asked that question. You have Flexeril, which is a muscle, it relaxes your muscles. Xanax, which is anti-anxiety. You have Benadryl, which is an antihistamine. Each one of these can kind of space you out a little bit. And then all together, they can have an effect. Now, he specifically said, and this is a new information that he told me last night, that the levels of those were either therapeutic or subtherapeutic.
You were, I think, going to go to the Clive Davis party.
Yes.
It was a surreal event where Whitney's body was still in the hotel, and there was this sort of party where apparently half the room were in tears, the other half were kind of partying. What did you feel about that?
I thought that was complete insanity.
Why did you let the party go on?
Of course, this is a personal thing. But the Grammys for the next night, you don't cancel.
And knowing Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that was said, stop everything. I'm not going to be there. You know, I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her. So they were like, I don't understand how that party went on.
I had Clive Davis by pure chance in here on Friday night with Jennifer Hudson, and he obviously worshipped Whitney, and I think he must have gone through agony when he heard this news, knowing it was 2 or 3 hours till this event.
Right.
And I think he took the decision to turn it into a tribute to her. And I understand that. I mean, he obviously was wrestling with the right thing to do.
That would have been right if it really was a true tribute, and and a true tribute, might have been a truer, a more honest tribute in my opinion, would have been maybe call everybody together, let's say a prayer, and let's eat dinner and go home.
And I'm talking because I want people to know the truth about how things were at her last performance. I was there. I was with her. I was on stage with her. And what you saw on stage was what that night was about. That night was about what you saw on stage. When she left the club, she left tired and drained because we had all danced ourselves into an absolute frenzy. And it's hard for me to hear anything other than that because she stood no more than 3 feet away from me the entire time. And we had a ball that night.
Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves me.
There was she was really fun. And she was really funny, okay? Like, people don't know that about her, but she had a great sense of humor. I have to say that my favorite moment was hearing her do being in the studio, and she did I Didn't Know My Own Strength, because she had tears in her eyes, and I did too. I was like crying, just because you know what I mean? The
song represents everything she went through.
It was. I wrote it. I literally wrote every word for her, like what I would think. Like, I thought I was trying to channel, and she told me, she goes, you wrote my life. You wrote my life story. She was. I mean, there never will ever be another Whitney Houston.
How will I know if he really loves me? How's my thing?
I'm still in shock, actually. Yeah, she, in the past did, but we can't speculate. No one really knows. But it was just still. My friend was on the phone with someone who got the call. I was there, and he told me. I go, no, maybe it's a Twitter hoax. They do that all the time. I go, let's make sure. And he goes, no, it really happened. I'm like, no way.
Ken wanted to pay tribute to Etta because she passed after the In Memoriam piece was already finished. So he asked Alicia if she and I would sing a song together, and we're both very good fans of each other, and I was a good friend of Etta's, and so it was really healing for me to have her as support. And now with Whitney, who she produced the last 3 records of, I'm able to be there for her as well. So together we're going to sing Sunday Kind of Love and just pour our hearts out, because the rest of the show I think will be dedicated to the people we've lost.
She was a fresh-faced kid who could sing better than anybody. And she had a joy when she sang. And she was beautiful. She was tall and beautiful and had a great, great, great voice. And for some reason, she had some demons that she couldn't beat.
She's totally beyond category. Tony Bennett said it last night. He said it was the best voice he'd ever heard. And that's what he called Clive Davis and said, I finally heard the best voice I've ever heard. And what more can be said?
Seemingly, she was living a little dangerously. I just don't know, except that I think there was a real sad woman there, and I'll pray for her, and she should rest now.
That voice, I don't care how people tried to emulate it, there was something in that voice that touched you deeper than anybody that was emulating her.
When I first heard Whitney Houston, I called up Clive Davis because I'm on the same label, at Sony Columbia. And I said, Clive, you got the right artist. I said, that's one of the greatest singers I ever heard.
What a voice, what a beauty. What an actress. She had everything and made us all feel so good every time we heard her sing.
Well, I just remember when we were doing The Bodyguard that she would work all day filming, tired from that. She'd come into the studio and just rip her coat off and go up to the mic like I said, like a racehorse. And she's the definitive girl. I love great voices, and hers was the greatest of all. She even sang about it, but she didn't know she was singing about herself. But as it turns out, she was singing about herself.
Whitney was the epitome of amazing vocals and inspired all singers. I think everybody here tonight could say that. So yeah, it's very sad.
I was the biggest fan of her. She influenced me so much growing up, and it's really devastating and shocking, really shocking.
Whitney Houston was such a true superstar and legit and the real deal. So I saw her last year at this very event, and I remember seeing her in this sparkly sequin dress, and you really did get that feeling of that is a superstar.
She was so young. She's
was like, I didn't see that. I thought she would be like 70, 75, 80, Lena Horne, people honoring her all over. I thought that. She would still be tall and pretty and regal with white hair or whatever. I saw her like that. That's what I always saw.
You know that voice anywhere. I mean, I grew up listening to the Bodyguard soundtrack. That was like my jam. So, yeah.
I have to tell you, I wanted to be like her. I always wanted to sing like that. Never could, though. But, you know, she was a wonderful person, always giving of herself. But, you know, her music will live forever. She will forever be a superstar.
I sing because I try to, you know, follow in her footsteps. And she's the reason why I sing the way I do and as strong as I do today.
And Leola Brown joins me. She is Bobby Brown's sister and Whitney's former sister-in-law. And you were also Whitney's assistant for some years, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I just want to get your take on this. What do you think?
You know, when I first heard the news that...
I can see you're upset.
Yes,
it's still upset.
I am. I really am, because I think it's what I said it was in the beginning. When I first seen this, and I saw the news, and I saw... and I'm sorry, please excuse me, I just have to come out and say this.
Please.
I saw Ray J coming out of the hotel, hiding his head, being pushed into the car. Why? I looked and I said, why is he hiding? Why is he hiding his face? He's always trying to show his face when he's around Whitney. Why now? Why are you trying to hide now, Ray J?
Get into the new book, though. I want to get a little rumor out of the way that I heard. You've been seen around town with Whitney Houston. Now, I know the rumors back in the day that y'all were hanging out. Well, what's the deal right now?
We hang, you know, it's Grammy weekend, and she's in town, and we had dinner, and, you know, she's such an icon to where it reaches the masses. But, you know,
Right.
we had a good time. We had dinner, that's it.
So, platonic, good friend. Hey, there's worse people you can hang with. You know what I'm saying? So how's she doing these days, by the way?
She's doing good. Everybody's good, you know, and she's good. My family's good. You know, everybody's doing good.
Ray, what's that new gift like?
Hey, man, they said it wouldn't last, Whitney. They said it wouldn't last, Ray J. Have a good night, y'all.
Shady got gifts. Shady got gifts, Ray.
Beautiful.
Oh, man.
Let's back it up.
Back it up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Back up, guys.
That's all we want you to do. Just back it up, get out of my way.
Move.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Whitney, that's who you're living with Ray J now.
Jay.
Are you living with Ray J? What's up, Ray J? Hey, cool, brother. Together now? How you doing?
All right.
Hey, Ray J, thanks a lot, man. Ray J, big wolf, knock you out of there. What's up, homie? Hey there, Ray J.
Ray J,
you ballin',
baby. You ballin' out of control, baby. You my hero.
Hey, Ray J, are you living with Whitney now?
Watch out, don't hit the car.
I don't want to hit y'all, man.
Watch out.
Y'all watch out, man. I don't want to hit nobody, all right?
Okay. Hey, are you living with Whitney now or what, man? Are you guys living
Y'all
together?
be careful tonight, man. Y'all have a good night.
I think you're honestly a sick human being, and I think you are just so desperate that you'll do anything for attention, and you're just so disgusting. Honestly, so, like, have fun with old hag Whitney Houston. Like, she's so sick, and, like, crack is definitely not whack with you guys, because you are just, honestly, it, like, makes me laugh on how disgusting you guys look. You're in Vegas with Whitney, and you need to go hang out with your old, like, friend and it's not right, but it's okay. I'm definitely going to make it anyway because you guys are just disgusting and sick, and stop you're with her. I don't understand it. She's so old and sick, and you are just sick and desperate, so leave me the alone and stop calling me!
And I put it all together. When I first heard she passed away, I said, my God, somebody gave her a bad bag.
Cocaine.
Yes. I promise you, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. And then I saw Ray J, and it all added up.
There was a conspiracy about the passing of Whitney Houston and how she went away. Some people think that the people behind her were part of that to get her publishing and XYZ. Where are your thoughts around that particular conspiracy around Whitney Houston?
Well, that goes back to Ray J. You know, allegedly, I believe that might be part of the reason why he going after Diddy is protecting Clive Davis. Clive Davis might allegedly be puppeteering Ray J as he did.
Even at this age, though, Clive Davis? Or is it just...
Yeah, because you got to remember, Diddy is under Clive Davis.
Right, he was the one that put Diddy on.
Right, so... Well, not technically put him on, but
no,
you know
what I mean. He gave him the money
with
to start Bad Boy.
Yeah, Bad Boy. So he's allegedly liable in some cases if they talk about the financing of Bad Boy Records and it being a criminal enterprise.
Right.
Then he would be the financee, right? Right?
Right, he would be lumped in that as well.
So before everybody start looking at him, you know, saying they send Ray J out here allegedly doing damage control or doing harm.
To keep the spotlight on Puff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now with the Whitney Houston thing, I believe allegedly Ray J had something to do with Whitney Houston, and whether he gave her the bad package, you know, him being there in the last moments of her death, her being abused, you know, me seeing him with Clive Davis the night before Whitney died, which was weird to me because he didn't have no relationship with Clive Davis like that back then. To be hanging with Clive Davis at a Grammy rehearsal, and then the next day Whitney got killed. I'll never forget that. I remember Clive Davis wearing that red tie, which is supposed to be symbolic to blood. But I remember him and Ray J sitting at that rehearsal, and the next day Whitney was dead.
So I am going to believe that Ray J, who Whitney told me she had no relationship with. And this is a young boy who's running around telling people that he is a boyfriend of Whitney's. But I know clearly that he wasn't. He was, like she said, a runner boy. For some reason, he knows somebody that sells drugs, and he was buying them for Whitney, from what I know, and giving her drugs. I want to know why this boy was allowed to do that around Pat and around Gary. Around Pat, mainly because you were with her. You were with her all the time. All the time. And for you to say that you don't know what happened to her, you know, I'm really disturbed by that.
Patricia Houston says she does not believe Houston was taking, quote, drugs prior to her death. Take a look at this.
I don't think drugs was an issue for her before her death. I don't know what happened that day. When you have fittings and when you have to go in to see your throat doctor, are you high? Absolutely not. She'd be too paranoid to do that. Leading up to, I would say no. Drinking, having a drink, she may have.
Now, we saw Pat on the Oprah interview, though, suggesting that Whitney did not do drugs, and Gary saying the same thing, right? I mean, do
Do you think it's possible they had no knowledge that she was using at this time?
Well, no, I doubt that very much. I doubt that very much. Pat is around her. She's around her enough to know if she was doing drugs or not. I don't believe that. I really don't. And I'm just being honest. If I was around her, I would know.
You would know. And I see that you're angry.
Yes, I am.
And you're sad, too, right?
Yes, I am.
This is really a sad...
I'm very sad. I'm very sad, and I'm very angry right now.
Shelley, here we are again, another great person taken by addiction. It makes us sad every time, and yet how many times we got to sit here and talk about this? It sounds like no one, Leola, was willing to do that.
I don't believe anybody tried to do that. You know, everybody says, I loved Whitney, but what did you do to try to help her?
If you'll permit me, I want to talk from my experiences in music with Whitney. You wait for a voice like that for a lifetime. You wait for a face like that, a smile like that, a presence like that for a lifetime. And when one person embodies it all, well, it takes your breath away.
Guide me, oh, thou great Jehovah, feed me till I want no more.
I do love you. Doesn't that sound familiar to you?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you.
The song I sang in church was a song called Guide Me, oh, thou great Jehovah. Feed me till I want no more.
And every woman. I'm a survivor. Yes, Jesus loves me. For the Bible tells me so.
Wishing you'd come back to me, and that's all that matters now.
If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines, like the galaxies in time, like the poet's endless rhyme.
How will I know if he really loves?
Break down.
I say a prayer with every heartbeat. I fall in love whenever we meet. I'm asking you, 'cause you know about these things.
Bobby Christina, it's today's, wait a minute, I gotta do this, I don't care. It's her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear baby. Happy birthday to you. Me and you against the world. Sometimes it feels like me and you against the world.
And for all the times I cry, I always know that God is on our side. So when one of us is gone
and one of us is left alone to carry on, I know remembering we'll have to do. Our memories alone can get us through. Just think of all the days of me and you against the world.
But please remember that life can be a circus.
They'll underpay us
and overwork you, and though we seldom get our due, but when each day is through, we'll take our tired bodies home and look around and know it's me and you and me and you against the
Oh, yeah, right. On the table and baby, I heard the cash. You got the magic and I gotta have it. I don't want the pieces. I want every single part. I'll be your ready. Really, and go, girl. You want it's fine. Woo! Whenever you're ready, just call on your lady. I'll be your baby tonight. Yeah. Girl, go.
I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because Jesus set me free. Oh, I know. And I will always love you. Will always love you. Will always love you.
Whitney came by my hotel, that hotel bungalow, alone. No bodyguards, no security, just Whitney and me. And she played her new cuts from Sparkle, and I played some new music that I liked for her. It was like old times. And she looked at me and quietly said, I want you to know I'm getting in shape. I'm swimming an hour or two a day, and I'm committed to get my high notes back, no cigarettes, plenty of vocal exercising.
And so I'll address the issue as respectable as I can. I really miss my friend. You know, I really do. I'm still hurting. I just want to say, like Whitney, I love giving back to the kids. I love, helping my community. I've been a part of the Brotherhood Crusade and working with them since I was 16 years old. It's just such a tough time for me. I've been through a lot in these past 2 weeks. I'm able to look at life in a whole different way. I always look at my phone because I got a picture of somebody that I really love, and it helps me through the day. This is all new for me. I'm really emotional right now. I really don't know really what to say. But what I will say is that I love and I'm hurt. But I enjoy being around people, that support me and that give me a sense of peace. And that's what these kids do for me, and that's what the Brotherhood Crusade does for me. So I really don't have a lot more to say right now. I just want to thank all of y'all for coming out. Again, I want to thank my mom and my dad and my whole family for supporting me through these times. What I will say, though, that is the most important thing to me of all, is that God is talking to me. God is talking to me right now. And now is the time for me to listen. So my ears are open.
It was a horrible time.
It's something that nobody...
And that's why we're here at this time together.
Something that nobody can explain. It's like, it's all my fault.
What?
It's all my fault. All of that happened?
No, that's not.
No.
What do you mean?
And having done it now, this is my second
Just was
time.
my fault.
She's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beaten.
Nancy, I want to bring up, change topics with you because you know that you stirred up a hornet's nest on Monday when you said, and we played your comments earlier this morning, and basically you were saying about Whitney Houston's death, and you said you want to know who pushed her or let her slip under the water. Angered a lot of people, Nancy. They felt that you just went way too far.
Well, if you look at the entire sentence, I understand that some people would consider that jarring or harsh, but there is nothing delicate or nice about a murder, a death, an unexpected death, or an autopsy. And that is what autopsies are for. I know most people aren't exposed to medical examiners, autopsies, morgues, and medical examiner investigations. But that's why you have an autopsy, to determine when something looks to be not a natural death or an accidental death. Was it a murder? Was it a heart attack? Was it an overdose?
Ray J was just accused of pushing a substance binge on Wendy Williams, but according to this new blind item, he was allegedly the man that supplied Whitney Houston with the substances that made her pass away.
Heartbreaking news today about former talk show host Wendy Williams. New court documents filed by her legal guardian say she is now permanently incapacitated by her ongoing health battles.
Heartbreaking news. Wendy Williams is being described as permanently incapacitated due to her battle with dementia and aphasia. Her guardian, attorney Sabrina Morrissey, made the disturbing revelation in court filings. Wendy was last seen in public at a holistic store back in August, taking a photo with a fan in New Jersey. The former talk show host was also the subject of a Lifetime documentary that was criticized for showing Wendy at her lowest, looking out of it, and perhaps not fully aware of what was going on.
We all make choices in life. We all go through our challenges.
Wendy Williams was diagnosed with aphasia and frontotemporal dementia in May of last year.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.